Ladies and gentlemen, the world we live in today is one of unparalleled freedom, freedom of expression, freedom of choice, and freedom of identity. Among these, the concept of sexual freedom has emerged as a powerful and necessary acknowledgement of our individuality. It is a vital part of human rights, allowing us to express our love, attraction, and identity without fear of judgment or repression. Yet, as with all freedoms, sexual freedom comes with its counterpart, sexual responsibility. Balancing the two is not just a personal endeavor, but a societal imperative. Sexual freedom gives us the space to define our own paths. It is about breaking free from outdated norms and embracing diversity, whether in sexual orientation, preferences, or relationships. This freedom empowers individuals to live authentically, to find happiness, and to create connections that align with their true selves. How do we do this? However, every action within this freedom carries weight. Sexual responsibility reminds us that our choices can profoundly affect others. It is about respect, consent, and understanding the emotional and physical implications of our decisions. Responsibility ensures that freedom does not become recklessness, that liberation does not lead to harm. To find the balance between these two forces, we must embrace education. Knowledge about safe practices, consent, and emotional maturity is crucial. It's not just about preventing harm, it's about cultivating relationships that are fulfilling and equitable. There are times when you may not recognize the passive-aggressive behavior of an emotional maturity. Moreover, empathy plays a central role. Understanding that each person's journey is unique helps us navigate the diverse tapestry of human sexuality. By listening, learning, and respecting others, we strengthen the fabric of our collective experience. Accountability is key. Sexual responsibility means owning up to our actions, treating partners with dignity, and ensuring that our freedom does not infringe on the well-being of others. When we act with integrity, we create an environment where sexual freedom and responsibility coexist harmoniously. Sexual freedom is an essential element of personal empowerment, enabling individuals to express their identities, desires, and preferences without fear of judgment or coercion. At its core, it is about the right to make decisions concerning one's own body, relationships, and intimate experiences. This freedom serves as a foundation for personal autonomy and self-discovery, allowing individuals to explore who they are in ways that feel authentic and fulfilling. Historically, the fight for sexual freedom has been a fight for human dignity and equality. It has challenged oppressive norms that sought to dictate how people could express themselves and who they could love. Whether it was the struggle for LGBTQ+ rights, the push for gender equality, or the demand for the recognition of diverse relationship structures, these movements emphasize the importance of giving people control over their own sexual and relational choices. When people are free to live according to their truths, they can engage in relationships and experiences that bring genuine happiness and emotional fulfillment. End quote. Sexual freedom is also deeply tied to the broader concept of self-expression. Just as individuals should have the liberty to dress in a way that reflects their personality or pursue careers that align with their passions, they should also have the freedom to express their sexuality in ways that feel right for them. This freedom is not merely about physical acts. It encompasses emotional, psychological, and spiritual dimensions of human connection. It allows people to communicate their needs and boundaries openly, fostering a culture of understanding and mutual respect. The empowerment that comes with sexual freedom extends beyond the individual. It influences societal attitudes, challenging biases and promoting inclusivity. A society that respects sexual freedom is one that values diversity and understands that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to intimacy or relationships. Such a society encourages healthy conversations about topics that were once considered taboo, reducing stigma and fostering environments where people feel safe to express themselves. These careers are actually both safe to express themselves and fostering environments where people feel safe to express themselves. However, true empowerment through sexual freedom comes with responsibility. It is not about acting without consideration or regard for others, but about making choices that align with one's values and respect the autonomy of others. When individuals are empowered through sexual freedom, they are better equipped to advocate for their rights, engage in healthy relationships, and contribute to a culture that celebrates authenticity and mutual respect. This respect for diversity is a cornerstone of a just and equitable society, particularly when it comes to sexual freedom and identity. Human beings are incredibly diverse in their experiences, preferences, orientations, and expressions of sexuality. Acknowledging and honoring this diversity is essential not only for individual well-being, but also for creating a culture where everyone feels valued and included. Diversity in sexuality encompasses a wide range of dimensions, from sexual orientation and gender identity to preferences and relationship structures. Some people identify as heterosexual, while others may identify as gay, lesbian, bisexual, pansexual, or asexual. Gender identity adds another layer of complexity, with individuals identifying as cisgender, transgender, non-binary, genderqueer, or other identities outside the traditional binary framework. This rich tapestry of experiences highlights the uniqueness of each individual and the importance of resisting efforts to impose a singular narrative of what is normal or acceptable. Respecting diversity means moving beyond mere tolerance and embracing acceptance. It requires recognizing that all forms of consensual expressions of love and intimacy are equally valid. This acceptance extends to dismantling stereotypes and prejudices that often marginalize certain groups. For example, LGBTQ+ individuals have historically faced discrimination, violence, and exclusion simply for being who they are. By fostering an environment of respect, we affirm their right to live openly and authentically without fear of judgment or harm. Education plays a vital role in cultivating respect for diversity. When people are exposed to stories, perspectives, and lived experiences that differ from their own, it fosters empathy and understanding. Schools, workplaces, and communities can serve as platforms for dialogue and learning, helping to break down misconceptions and build bridges between people of different backgrounds. Inclusive policies and practices, such as anti-discrimination laws and representation in media, further reinforce the message that diversity is a strength, not a threat. Respect for diversity also benefits relationships. When individuals approach one another with openness and curiosity, it creates opportunities for deeper connections and mutual growth. Understanding and valuing differences can lead to more fulfilling partnerships, where each person feels seen, heard, and appreciated for who they truly are. End quote. Ultimately, respecting diversity requires a commitment to equity and justice. It challenges us to confront our biases, advocate for marginalized groups, and ensure that everyone has the opportunity to thrive. In doing so, we create a world where differences are not merely tolerated, but celebrated as integral to the human experience. Consent is the foundation upon which all healthy, respectful, and ethical relationships are built. It serves as a clear agreement between individuals, ensuring that all parties are comfortable and willing to participate in a particular act or interaction. Without consent, there is no mutual understanding, and the risk of harm, violation, or exploitation becomes significant. Number 3, recognizing consent as the cornerstone of sexual and relational freedom underscores its importance in fostering trust and respect. Sexual consent relies upon the fact that you are asking the other person to consent without interference. At its core, consent is about communication. It requires individuals to openly express their intentions, desires, and boundaries while actively listening to and respecting the perspectives of others. Consent is not a one-time agreement, but an ongoing process that requires continuous checking in and affirmation. Circumstances can change, emotions can shift, and what felt acceptable at one moment may no longer feel the same later. This fluidity makes clear and consistent communication essential. One of the most critical aspects of consent is that it must be freely given. It cannot be coerced, manipulated, or obtained under pressure. True consent arises in an environment where individuals feel safe and empowered to say yes or no without fear of repercussions. This principle applies across all contexts, whether in intimate relationships, social interactions, or professional environments. Consent also hinges on informed decision-making. For someone to provide genuine consent, they must have a clear understanding of what they are agreeing to. This includes being aware of any potential risks, implications, or consequences. Transparency is vital, as it allows individuals to make decisions based on accurate and complete information. Respecting boundaries is another key element of consent. Everyone has their own limits, shaped by their experiences, values, and comfort levels. Recognizing and honoring these boundaries demonstrates respect and care for others' autonomy. It fosters a sense of safety and trust, which are essential for meaningful and healthy connections. In the modern age, consent is more than just an ethical standard. It is also a legal requirement. Laws and policies worldwide emphasize the importance of explicit and enthusiastic consent, aiming to protect individuals from harm and ensure accountability. However, beyond its legal implications, consent reflects a deeper commitment to respect, empathy, and equality in human interactions. Educating people about the importance of consent from a young age is crucial for creating a culture that values and upholds it. By normalizing conversations around boundaries, respect, and communication, we can foster an environment where everyone feels heard, valued, and safe to express themselves fully. Education plays a transformative role in shaping attitudes, behaviors, and societal norms, particularly when it comes to matters of sexual freedom and responsibility. To elevate individuals and communities, education must address the nuances of relationships, consent, emotional intelligence, and sexual health. By equipping people with accurate information and critical thinking skills, we empower them to make informed decisions, navigate complex situations, and foster respectful, fulfilling connections. One of the primary benefits of education in this context is the dismantling of stigma and misinformation. Historically, conversations around sexuality and relationships have often been shrouded in secrecy or misinformation, leading to confusion and harmful stereotypes. Comprehensive education breaks down these barriers by providing a safe space to discuss topics like consent, boundaries, safe practices, and emotional well-being. It equips individuals with knowledge that helps them understand their own needs and respect those of others, promoting healthier interactions and reducing the likelihood of harm. Education is also crucial for fostering empathy and respect. When people learn about the diversity of human experiences, whether related to sexual orientation, gender identity, or cultural norms, they become better equipped to appreciate perspectives different from their own. This understanding lays the groundwork for building inclusive communities where everyone feels valued and supported. Through education, we learn to challenge biases and stereotypes, replacing judgment with acceptance and curiosity. A key component of effective education is its focus on lifelong learning. Sexuality, relationships, and personal growth are not static, they evolve over time. Education should therefore be an ongoing process that adapts to the changing needs of individuals and society. Whether through formal programs in schools, workshops in workplaces, or open discussions within families, education must remain accessible and relevant. This is the case even within families and within families. It should address not only the mechanics of sexual health, but also the emotional and relational aspects that contribute to holistic well-being. Moreover, education empowers individuals to advocate for themselves and others. By understanding their rights and responsibilities, people are better prepared to assert boundaries, seek help when needed, and support those around them. This advocacy extends to challenging harmful practices and promoting policies that prioritize equity, safety, and inclusivity. Ultimately, education is about more than transferring knowledge. It is about inspiring growth and fostering connection. When we educate to elevate, we create a culture that values open dialogue, mutual respect, and informed decision-making. This culture not only benefits individuals, but also strengthens the fabric of society, laying the foundation for a future built on understanding, compassion, and shared responsibility. Empathy is a powerful force that can transform relationships, communities, and societies. It is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another, to see the world through their eyes, and to appreciate their experiences without judgment. In the context of sexual freedom and responsibility, empathy matters deeply because it fosters connection, reduces conflict, and ensures that individuals approach each other with kindness and respect. At its heart, empathy is about listening, truly listening, to the experiences, needs, and boundaries of others. When individuals take the time to understand where someone is coming from, it creates a space of trust and safety. This is especially important in relationships where open communication and mutual understanding are the bedrocks of healthy interactions. Empathy allows people to navigate differences in desires, preferences, and expectations, ensuring that all parties feel valued and heard. Empathy also plays a crucial role in breaking down stereotypes and biases. In a world as diverse as ours, it is easy to make assumptions about others based on limited information or preconceived notions. Empathy challenges these assumptions by encouraging individuals to look beyond surface appearances and consider the complexities of another person's experiences. This shift in perspective helps combat prejudice and fosters inclusivity, as it reminds us that every individual's journey is unique and valid. In practice, empathy requires effort and intentionality. It involves being present in the moment, setting aside one's own judgments, and actively engaging with another's emotions and experiences. This can be especially challenging in difficult conversations or when there is disagreement. But it is precisely in these moments that empathy is most needed. By approaching others with a genuine desire to understand rather than to argue or impose one's views, empathy helps to bridge gaps and resolve conflicts constructively. Moreover, empathy strengthens emotional intelligence. It enables individuals to navigate their own emotions while being attuned to the feelings of others, leading to deeper and more meaningful connections. In intimate relationships, empathy fosters intimacy and mutual respect, as it encourages partners to prioritize each other's well-being and happiness. And empathy is not just an individual trait, it is a societal value that can shape culture and policy. When communities and institutions prioritize empathy, they create environments that are safer, more inclusive, and more supportive. Whether through education, dialogue, or everyday interactions, fostering empathy enriches lives and lays the groundwork for a world where people treat each other with dignity and compassion. Accountability is a fundamental principle that underpins trust, integrity, and respect in all human interactions, particularly in matters of sexual freedom and responsibility. It is the act of owning one's actions, decisions, and their consequences, recognizing that every choice impacts not only oneself, but also others. In the context of relationships and personal behavior, accountability ensures that individuals uphold their commitments and act in ways that align with ethical and moral standards. At its core, accountability begins with self-awareness. It requires individuals to reflect on their behavior and understand how their words and actions affect those around them. This level of introspection is crucial for maintaining honesty in relationships, whether they are romantic, platonic, or professional. When people take responsibility for their actions, they foster trust and create a foundation for healthy communication and mutual respect. One critical aspect of accountability is respecting boundaries. Understanding and honoring the limits set by others demonstrates not only respect, but also a willingness to prioritize their comfort and well-being. When boundaries are crossed, accountability demands that individuals acknowledge their mistakes, apologize sincerely, and take steps to make amends. It is through this process of recognition and repair that trust can be rebuilt and relationships strengthened. Accountability also extends to the concept of consent. Informed, enthusiastic consent is a cornerstone of ethical behavior, and respecting it requires a commitment to accountability. If consent is withdrawn or not clearly given, it is the responsibility of all parties involved to adjust their actions accordingly. Ignoring consent is a violation of trust and autonomy, and accountability demands that such actions be addressed and corrected. Moreover, accountability has a broader societal dimension. It involves recognizing the impact of one's choices on the community and taking steps to contribute positively rather than perpetuate harm. This includes challenging harmful norms, advocating for inclusivity, and supporting policies that protect individuals' rights and dignity. By holding themselves accountable, individuals help create a culture where respect, fairness, and equity thrive. They just don't know it. Importantly, accountability is not about perfection, but about commitment. It is about striving to act with integrity and taking responsibility when mistakes occur. This willingness to own up to missteps, learn from them, and grow fosters deeper connections and a more supportive environment. In essence, accountability is non-negotiable because it is the glue that holds relationships, communities, and societies together, ensuring that freedom and responsibility coexist harmoniously. Avoiding harm is a foundational principle in fostering ethical, compassionate, and respectful relationships and interactions. It underscores the responsibility individuals have to ensure their actions do not cause emotional, physical, or psychological damage to others. In the context of sexual freedom and responsibility, this principle becomes even more critical, as the consequences of harmful behavior can profoundly impact a person's well-being and trust. At its core, avoiding harm starts with awareness. It requires individuals to be mindful of how their words, actions, and decisions might affect others. This awareness involves actively considering the potential risks and consequences of a given situation and taking steps to mitigate them. For example, engaging in clear communication about intentions, boundaries, and expectations can help prevent misunderstandings and foster a sense of safety and trust. This translates into fostering kindness and compassion. Respect for consent is central to avoiding harm. Consent is not just a formality, but a deeply personal expression of comfort and agreement. Without it, actions can become invasive and damaging, eroding trust and causing emotional distress. Avoiding harm means prioritizing consent at every stage, ensuring that all parties are fully informed, willing, and comfortable with what is happening. Education also plays a pivotal role in minimizing harm. Misunderstandings often arise from a lack of knowledge about safe practices, emotional needs, or cultural differences. Comprehensive education on these topics empowers individuals to make informed decisions that prioritize safety and well-being. This education includes not only physical safety, such as the prevention of sexually transmitted infections and unintended pregnancies, but also emotional safety, such as understanding how words and actions can impact someone's mental health. This education includes not only physical safety, such as the prevention of sexually transmitted infections and unintended pregnancies. Empathy is another key element in avoiding harm. When individuals strive to understand the experiences and feelings of others, they are more likely to act in ways that are considerate and respectful. This includes being attentive to verbal and nonverbal cues, recognizing discomfort, and responding with care and understanding. Avoiding harm also requires accountability. When mistakes are made, it is essential to acknowledge them, apologize, and take steps to make amends. This commitment to addressing harm ensures that relationships can be repaired and trust can be restored. Ultimately, avoiding harm is about creating environments where everyone feels safe, respected, and valued. It is a proactive commitment to protecting the dignity and well-being of others while fostering relationships and communities built on trust, compassion, and mutual care. Harmonious coexistence is the ideal state where individuals and communities live together in mutual respect, understanding, and support, embracing their differences while working towards shared goals of well-being and happiness. It is particularly significant in the context of sexual freedom and responsibility, as it reflects the balance between personal autonomy and collective harmony. Achieving such coexistence requires empathy, open communication, and a commitment to equity and inclusivity. At its heart, harmonious coexistence begins with recognizing and valuing diversity. People have unique experiences, identities, preferences, and beliefs that shape who they are. Respecting these differences is essential for creating an environment where everyone feels seen and heard. This respect does not require agreement or uniformity. Instead, it involves acknowledging the validity of others' perspectives and making space for their voices. Learning lessons of diversity and making space for their voices. Open communication is a cornerstone of harmonious coexistence. When people feel safe to express their thoughts, emotions, and boundaries, it fosters trust and understanding. Effective communication goes beyond merely speaking. It involves active listening, seeking clarity, and approaching conversations with an open mind. In relationships, this kind of dialogue helps navigate conflicts, resolve misunderstandings, and build deeper connections based on mutual respect and trust. Empathy plays a crucial role in fostering coexistence. By striving to understand others' feelings and experiences, individuals can break down barriers of prejudice and judgment. Empathy allows people to appreciate the challenges and joys that others face, creating a sense of shared humanity. This understanding helps bridge divides and encourages collaboration rather than competition. And the latter is what you desire for their endorsement of the better ideas that place you. Inclusivity is another vital element. Harmonious coexistence thrives when communities actively work to dismantle systemic inequities and create environments where everyone can participate and thrive. This requires addressing power imbalances, advocating for marginalized groups, and ensuring that everyone has access to opportunities, resources, and rights. Inclusivity strengthens the social fabric by ensuring that no one is left behind or excluded. Responsibility also underpins harmonious coexistence. While individuals have the freedom to make their own choices, they must do so with consideration for how their actions affect others. This balance of freedom and responsibility ensures that personal autonomy does not come at the expense of collective well-being. Ultimately, harmonious coexistence is not about achieving a perfect state, but about fostering a continuous commitment to understanding, respect, and care. It is a dynamic process that requires individuals and communities to work together, adapt, and grow in ways that celebrate both individuality and unity. This balance creates a world where everyone can thrive in their unique way while contributing to the shared good. So this is what they call a multitude of the marketplace, so that everyone can thrive in their unique way. In conclusion, the balance between sexual freedom and sexual responsibility is a delicate yet essential equilibrium that ensures individual autonomy while fostering respect, empathy, and accountability. Empowerment through freedom enables individuals to embrace their authentic selves, while respect for diversity ensures that all expressions of identity are valued and celebrated. The cornerstone of consent underscores the necessity of mutual understanding and agreement in every interaction. And education elevates us to make informed, ethical choices that strengthen our connections. Empathy reminds us of our shared humanity, emphasizing the importance of kindness and understanding, while accountability ensures that our actions align with values that prioritize respect and integrity. Avoiding harm is a proactive commitment to creating safe, supportive environments, and harmonious coexistence embodies the unity that arises when we honor both individual freedom and collective well-being. By integrating these principles into our lives, we can build a world where sexual freedom is not only a right, but a responsibility, enabling relationships and communities to thrive in trust, respect, and mutual care. End quote.